You're listening to the Community Radio Show on WLEE News Talk 990. I'm Bakari Sirraj. I'm here with Muhammad Hadi.
Hey.
You can participate in the show by calling 788-0990 or 1-877-953-3990.
All right, so should we knock out these announcements?
Yeah. It's real, I don't know what's going on with me, man. I just need a lung transplant or something. It's crazy.
Too bad you can't get a knowledge fact transplant. So
Here we go.
All right, so as you know, this is the 24th day of Ramadan. It'll be over next Saturday, and so our celebration is on Sunday and into Monday. So on August 18th at the Muslim Community Center of Chesterfield, there's going to be a first family Chandrat. It means sighting of the moon. There'll be food. There'll be henna for the kids, clothes, jewelry, and games. This is at the Muslim Community Center of Chesterfield. There will be an Eid Carnival on the 26th, August 26th, from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. There'll be moon bounces, rock climbing, bungee jumping. I'm looking forward to that. I'm already practicing jumping off the roof with, makeshift jumpies.
How do you practice falling?
Yeah.
I would like to see that.
It's a learned skill.
Oh boy!
Just
You done?
August 26th, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. This again is at the Muslim Community Center at the 16831 Hall Street, and I promise I will post these to the website so you guys all can go there and get all the information at the community radio show.
And also Richmond Eid al-Fitr Festival at Haddad's Lake. 7900 Osborne Turnpike on August the 20th from 11 a.m. until. So there's going to be food, vending, paddle boat rides, train rides, basketball, volleyball, fishing, and much more. Children swimming from ages 4 to 12. So you can visit our website or visit the website for the festival committee, which is richmondeid2012.com. But this information will also be on our website.
I should bring the paddle boat.
What, my inflatable?
Yeah, your inflatable. My kayak.
Watch you go around the circle. You got a kayak?
I got a kayak.
I need to borrow that.
You can watch you practice fall in the water.
Yeah.
I'm an athlete, man.
I failed a bit. The last time we played basketball, I don't remember you looking too tough.
That's because you're looking at the bottom of my shoe. That's what you're
right.
looking at. So
okay, so if you're watching us on the webcam, maybe we'll take a poll. Who do you think would win in the basketball tournament?
So maybe I should pull out my nickname for you.
No.
Let me wait until you go through your facts here, which are lacking, and then I can call you.
I can almost hear the quotation. Your facts.
Your facts. Yes, I'm putting up air facts, air quotes.
I'm gonna take a relaxed position here. Okay, so we're gonna get into something I guess I kind of want to focus on. Was the Sikh temple shooting, were the Sikh temple killings preventable? Which is a big question. And so I got some things highlighted here that I want to kind of bring up and point. Now, there's a rise of American extremism per se, according to this article, and they broke it down into 4 different groups. You have patriot groups, you have hate groups, militias, and nativist extremist groups. Now, since 2001, hate groups have been on the rise. Okay, now the patriot groups have kind of been, on a steady decline up until about that point, where they kind of flatlined. But then they went up sharply in 2008, and we all know what happened in 2008. Barack Obama got elected.
That's right.
So
you got to take the country back.
Bingo. Okay, so before I go into some other things, you always hear about patriot groups, and sometimes you hear different. Like, what was your definition that you gave it earlier? You was pretty much, guns. What did you say? Guns, glory, and
guns, God, and country.
Yeah, guns,
God, and country.
Okay. I just
in that order. Guns come first.
Okay. So now, according to the Southern Poverty Law Center, they define patriot groups as. Hold on. I'm sorry. They define themselves as opposed to the New World Order when they engage in groundless conspiracy theorizing, advocate and adhere to extreme anti-governmental doctrines. And this also, This doesn't imply that these groups themselves advocate or engage in violence or other criminal activities or are racist, but it is a possibility. So, in America, have been identified 1,274 anti-government and patriot groups that were active in 2011. Of these groups, 334 were militias, and the remainder includes common law courts, which I'm not fully understanding of that, publishers, ministries, and citizens groups. That's a big number, though.
Should we put the Tea Party in that group, or is that?
Well, technically, the Tea Party. If you look at the names here, I mean, you have things like the Get Out of Our House group, the Free Patriot Press, Assemblies Union of the several states of the Union of the states of the United States of America. You know, Alarm and Muster, the modern day alarm riders. I mean, there's a lot of
and they all probably have guns.
There's a good chance.
I don't even think they're trying with these names. Get Out of My House Party.
It's called GOO. Seriously, GOOO. Get out of our house.
Something GOO.
Doesn't sound very American.
Massachusetts, you have the Constitution Party, John Birch Society. So there's a lot, and each one of these states, they have a lot of different groups that have been identified specifically by this organization. And up until a certain point, this organization was one of the groups that gave a lot of background information to both the FBI and also to the Department of Homeland Security.
Department of Justice. Do you know who a famous member of the John Birch Society is?
John Birch?
No. Samuel Alito was a member of the, not Chief Justice, excuse me, Supreme Court Justice was a member of the John Birch Society.
That's interesting.
I believe at Columbia, one of those Ivy League schools.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, now that we have a slight, background on patriot groups and things like that. Sorry.
8 minutes.
8 minutes. There we go. Okay.
Buki, that's my name for you. Buki. Because he's slow.
1-877-953-3990. That's how I'm going to just quiet.
788-0990. Call out if you want to ask us a question.
Okay. Now, look, when I was reading this report that was pretty much current as of August 9th, and there was a briefing where FBI Special Agent Teresa Clarkson pretty much said in relation to the shooter of the Sikh temple in Wisconsin that law enforcement had no prior indication that the shooter, Wade Michael Page, had been dangerous. As far as she knew, no law enforcement agency had any reason to believe that he was planning or plotting or capable of such violence. Now, the Southern Poverty Law Center, which we had just brought up, maintains an archive of published material from white supremacists and other hate groups. It says Page, who played in the white supremacist rock band and is involved in other hate groups, such as the skinhead group, the Hammerskins, showed up in their databases early as 10 years ago. Now, of course, that's going to bring up, okay, so it shows up in the database. What can you really do? Okay. Now, political backlash prompted Homeland Security to shut down and curtail this passive monitoring of white-wing extremists, as they call, because surveillance of publicly available information, such as information on white supremacists and web forums and things like that.
So basically, the Department of Justice wanted to do.
You going to hammer me like that?
No. I said the Department of Justice wanted to monitor these hate groups like they were monitoring Muslim groups on the web. They wanted to go to these white supremacist websites and monitor and see what they can glean out of that, just like they go to these, quote unquote jihadist websites,
right,
and monitor them for to see what what they're doing. But there's a backlash from the right wing.
Yeah, and what the result of that was they reduced that entire department down to just one analyst. So basically, one person was focusing on domestic terrorism by non-Muslims for that organization. So that's kind of crazy. Being, you have, especially if you have that amount of hate groups, like I said, 1,274, which, I mean, even if you chop that in one quarter, that's may have any potential of, any type of, legitimate hate group, hate crimes. That's still a lot of, potential activity for one person, to even try to, analyze and give any real information in terms of, okay, possible threat, potential threat, definitely a threat. How do we take action? So it's kind of, it's just basically leaving it wide open, for non, Muslim-based terrorist activity.
In fact, it sounds like this analyst just sits around all day on his computer, just chilling out on just different hate forums.
Probably
That's really what
playing
sounds like.
Minesweeper.
Sounds like,
monitoring websites. And how many websites can you monitor in an 8-hour shift?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, we joke about this, but I think it's serious in that the Department of Justice tried to legitimately talk about this. I mean, the FBI has a department that deals with domestic terrorism. They monitor, that deals with white supremacy groups. So it wasn't something that these leftist people in the Department of Justice under Obama all of a sudden came up with. We have these so-called, these right-wing groups.
Right.
So the question becomes is why was there such a backlash?
Right. Well, they claim that they claim that Napolitano,
Janet Napolitano.
yes, and President Barack Obama were targeting mainstream conservatives and Tea Party activists. That this wasn't, this isn't really just something for high risk, hate groups and things like that. This is really, just for conservatives and white Tea Party guys to give you the okay to basically, survey us and, have all these, whatever it may be, wiretaps. I don't know, But it's kind of like, well, for one, if you have people like that in your parties, then that's your problem. You need to be checked out. But at the same time, spying on Americans in general, as we all know, when has that not happened? That happens all the time, but this kind of goes back to the question of, okay, since even if the government is not willing to do anything, what are we willing to proactively do as citizens, whether in the minority or the majority, to protect ourselves, either do that, take charge with protecting ourselves, or rely on local and federal government to reactively clean up the mess afterwards. Because that's pretty much, how law enforcement works, as far as I can see. It's not, there are proactive measures, but when something really happens, such as the shooting, at the temple, it's going to be reactive. They're responding to a call. It's a reactive job. They don't have the manpower or anything like that to cover every, religious institution, every, park, every place, every mall, every theater, and say, we're going to keep this place safe. So what are the options for the citizens, to be able to, protect
It's interesting
themselves.
you should bring up law enforcement because in 2 weeks we're going to have 2 guests from the Richmond chapter of the FBI.
And I'm going to ask them.
You can ask them the same question. So we're going to have the head of their hate crimes division as well as their domestic terrorism division on, and we can discuss some of the what they're doing as far as investigations and what communities can do. Because there's a rise, let's be frank, there is a rise in hate crimes towards minority groups, particularly places of worship, especially against mosques.
Right.
There was a vandalism in mosque in Rhode Island. There was a burning of a mosque in I have it here somewhere. It was the second time that it got burnt to the ground in Illinois, I believe.
I don't think I that one out.
Joplin got burnt to the ground. And, of course, Murfreesboro Mosque, that was in court for 2 years, fighting a battle to be able to get an occupancy permit, finally got an occupancy permit. So
Right.
we can discuss some of these things next week. I tried to get one of the opponents of the Murfreesboro Mosque on. Her name is Sally Wall. I spoke with her, and
Okay.
she told me that she didn't want Murfreesboro to turn into like a Dearborn, Michigan,
Right.
like this kind of ethnic enclaves. And so, at some level, there's a legitimate point, but
But at the same time, if you have people in the population that's growing and being prosperous and
Right.
not causing problems, why
Right.
why
but
say
it
no?
speaks to a larger thing, and I think their argument in Murfreesboro was that Islam is not a religion; it's a political ideology.
Right.
That therefore it shouldn't get protections of the First Amendment, which
That's crazy.
I
can't say that in a nice way. That's crazy. That's a ridiculous point of view. Off the top.
It's incorrect point of view.
It is.
Right.
Yeah.
Proof that opinions can be incorrect.
Right, correct.
There you go.
All right, we want to thank our sponsors, Chiropractic and Family Wellness, Daisy Gem Eyes, Car Care Auto Center, Pure Yoga, Ladies Only Studio. I'm not really a salesperson, but I have to push the fact that this show runs on donations from all the listeners in support of our advertisers. So please donate. It doesn't take much. If every listener just gives, $5 to $10 a month, every single one of you that's out there listening, then this will be it's a run. We don't get paid, and in fact, we actually cover a lot of the costs and expenses of the research, the travel, all that kind of stuff as we cover on our show. So it takes quite a bit of preparation to put on an hour show that seems to fly by. If you're listening to the Community Radio Show and WLEE News Talk 990, stay in touch with us during the week at communityradioshow.com.